what is your vision and mission for the business, and will it inspire?
Mm-hmm.
Will it inspire? And that's really the first key to a winning team is strong leadership, right? So you as the business owner not only have to provide leadership, but strong leadership in growing and building your business. And we can come back and talk about these. The second one is a common goal, right? So is everyone on your team working towards a goal or two that are common to everybody, and everyone in the team understands what they are? The third is rules of the game, and that's something that should come up in the interview process. How do you run your business, and what are the key rules of how your business runs? Fourth, what is your action plan to run the business? What is your plan to grow and build your business, and is there an action plan that everyone is participating in and working with? The fifth is support risk-taking within your business, right? Right? When you've got someone on the team, you want to give them the room. You want to give them the opportunity to grow and learn. Sometimes making mistakes is way
pushing them a little
learn.
bit out of the nest and making sure they can fly.
Yeah, absolutely. Because if you think about it, right, if you're a business owner and you want to get that business to run without you someday so that it can be worth its maximum value, you need to develop your team. You need to allow them the opportunity to try new things and do new things so that they can grow.
Mm-hmm.
And then finally, the sixth key to a winning team is 100% involvement and inclusion. You need to make sure that everyone on your team as a leader feels like they are involved and that you want them included in everything that you're doing as part of the team, right? Because if you think about it, think of a sports team, think of a baseball team. If the shortstop isn't playing, that team's going to fall apart pretty quick.
Right.
If any one individual isn't participating, that team's going to fall apart very quick. So those are really the six keys, Michael, to a winning team. So you want to spend some time talking about a few of those? Which one of those kind of grabs your attention?
There's a couple of different. The rules of the game is the one that I thought about.
Okay, excellent.
When you say rules of the game, I know we've talked before about the fact that it's very important to train people to do everything, starting with answering the phone correctly.
Yeah,
but give me some specifics on what rules of the game. Now, does that encompass, you don't chew gum at work, you don't wear shorts, you don't have dreadlocks, or does that, what does that actually encompass?
Yeah, that's how the business runs. So yes, to all of those examples, so at our place of business, you are required to show up for meetings 5 minutes before the start time. That's a rule. You are required to show up 5 minutes before the start of your day and be asked at your desk working. Some other rules of the game. ActionCOACH we have in our firm 14 different points of culture where we lay out what's important to us, like having fun, integrity, honesty, a commitment to learning. We have 14 of those that are important to us, and we lay them out in detail. You can actually see them on our website. So if you're interested in knowing some of our rules as a firm, you can go to actioncoachnow.com and use those as yours if they fit. But it's those as well as just what's happening. It's the rules, your conduct.
When you bring a team member on, is it important to always have to know all the rules of the game right up front, or is it important to make a judgment on that person if you hire them, as you think they'd be the kind of person that later on, if the rules change, they're going to be able to roll with it?
No, I think it's critical to lay out as much in the interview process as possible because you want to see how people react to it.
Mm-hmm.
So these are the rules that we play by, and you break out a 2 or 3 page sheet of paper and say, let's go through these together, and give me your comments on that, and walk through. Yeah, I think it's is critical because it says a lot about you and your business. So you want to see how that potential employee is going to react to those rules, because let's face it. If they can respond positively to those, to a list of rules and regulations, if we add a couple more, it's not going to be a big deal because they understand the concept.
Common goal is another one that strikes me. And you told a story once, and correct me if I'm wrong in this. It was a while back, but I'm sure it's certainly available on the website as well as the rest of the programs are, about bringing in a client once and having the staff all write down what the common goal was and put it in a hat. and you asked the guy beforehand,
Yeah.
does everyone understand? He guaranteed you 100%. Everyone in this room understands. And I don't remember the number, but you pulled out, let's say there were 12, and you pulled out maybe 8 different answers,
Yeah.
or 7.
Yeah.
Now that's true. That is probably not as uncommon as you'd think. We laugh about it now, but it's not really probably that much of a stretch.
Oh, I mean, just think about it. Our listeners, I mean, if I were to walk into your business tomorrow and walk around and ask everybody, what's the goal of the business? What would the answer be?
Mm-hmm.
And think of the power that it would have in your organization if everyone was rowing in the same direction, right? Everyone had the same objective, clear objective, while they were at work, how that would change your environment, your bottom line, your sales, all of those kinds of things, and the support mechanism that you have.
Now, what if you had a company that, let's say, didn't have the best PR, not your particular company, but the business didn't have the best PR. Let's say it was, and I'm going to think of something that doesn't tie to anybody you and I know, so they don't think we're talking about them.
Yeah.
But let's say it's a fertilizer business, all right?
Okay.
And generally, just if I say to somebody, hey, you want to work in a fertilizer business, chances are they would more than likely say no. But if I owned a fertilizer business and I had the heart and the passion about it, and I had 10 minutes to talk to somebody, I could probably describe the business and show them the really good points about it. Mm-hmm. So maybe what would be a reason not to use a business per se, if you think that might be the situation, or does that border on bait and switch? I'm not really.
Well, yeah. I mean, look, I think that the process of hiring somebody should be more of a deselection process than a selection process.
Mm-hmm.
So, look, whatever business you're in, that's the business you're in. And there are some people that are going to be attracted and interested,
right,
and there are some people that aren't. We don't want the people that aren't, so lay it out there. Let them know. I mean, the opportunity, just like when you're out there looking for new clients, right? If someone's not going to be a client and you've qualified them or disqualified them early on in the process, do you spend any time with them? No, you move on. So it's the same thing when you're out recruiting and looking for employees, right? You want to lay out your vision, lay out your mission, the job opportunity, why you're a great place to work, and then let them tell you what they're going to add and bring to the party.
Now, in the past, we've talked about you taught us how to set prices, how to not be afraid to set things at a certain level and to go at it logically and conclusively. Do you do the same type of logic? Is there a formula for when you set a price to bring somebody on board? I mean, you look at your business, what it's making, what the job could pay. What are the components? What are the formulas here you look for?
Yeah, I think the biggest formula is, what can you afford to? What does the budget allow you to do versus what are the benefits of bringing that person on board? And I think that's critical. That benefits of bringing that person on board is a critical process to go through.
Mm-hmm.
And then again, that leads me back to the job description, right? So when we're coaching our clients and it's a business owner that's growing, and they've identified a new position that will free them up
right,
a day or 2 days a week. Now, what's that worth at the end of the day for a business owner to have 2 free days a week? How many more sales could they now then bring in? What other ways are they now going to be able to grow the business?